Why, hello there, YouTube, and welcome to a brand new edition of Horigin Files. This one we're going to go somewhere out of this world, pun intended, as we explore the origins of the Xenomorphs. So enjoy it. Horigin Files. Xenomorph. First appearance, Alien. Homeworld, Xenomorph Prime. Horror series, Alien franchise. The Xenomorphs are an endoparasitoid life form that, has been created by a black gooey substance performed by the engineers before the dawn of man. However, these creatures were created by an android named David, who used a human host to create these creatures, passing the bacterial organism through a human host, creating the Neomorph, which eventually he would go on to create the species known as the Xenomorphs. Xenomorphs are tall, slim creatures with endoskeletons showing out of their bodies and a dome-like head, which is translucent where they can see through it, or not. It's not very much known exactly if they can see or not. However, they have acid blood and a sharp tip on the end of their tail, and a small mouth within their mouth, which they use to attack. The Xenomorph begins its life cycle off as an egg. Then the egg hatches and becomes a small creature called the facehugger, that once it latches onto a host, it can use the host to implant an embryo within their stomachs, and eventually the facehugger dies and lets go of its host. And for a while the host may seem fine, but eventually the creature bursts out into what is called a chest burster, where it is a small baby xenomorph, but this creature does not stay as an infant for long, as it grows rapidly, shedding its skin, cocooning itself, and eventually becoming a full-grown xenomorph. In other alternate forms, depending on the characteristics of their host, most of the aliens seen to date have been human-spawned, but a number of aliens born from other hosts have also been seen, such of these are almost different variants of the species together, such as the Neomorph or the Deacon. Their DNA can also splice and mix with other species, that being human DNA, such as in the fourth film, Alien Resurrection, where we see the newborn, a hybrid of the two creatures, and their DNA is even crossed with that of the Yautja, also known as the Predators, creating the Predalien, which again is a hybrid between the Xenomorph and the Yautja. And in the film's most latest installments, Alien Romulus has even spawned the Offspring, which again is another human hybrid creature. In other alternate versions of their history, during ancient times, the Yautja would arrive to Earth and teach man to build and be praised as gods, and every 100 years would return, demanding a sacrifice, where they would spawn these Xenomorphs and fight them for sport. But of course, that part of their history is from another timeline. For the longest time throughout the franchise, the Xenomorphs' abilities, such as armored skin and acid for blood, have been thought they could be genetic weapons, and in some of these films, an android sent by the Weyland Corporation, a mining space corporation that wants these Xenomorphs as they believe they could hold genetic codes and could make good weaponry. But time and time again have not learnt from this error, as the Xenomorph creatures have always repopulated out of control and caused a muck and a rampage. From their production, they can lay eggs or implant embryos into a host. But these creatures are kind of like a hive race, as they have a queen, their mother known as the Xenomorph Queen, who looks just like them but slightly bigger, and her dome on her head appears more like a crown, but also can connect to an egg sac where she lays her eggs. But once her eggs have been laid, she can separate from this sac and go on a revenge killing spree if her offspring are killed, as we see in the franchise's second installment, Aliens. These creatures are tall and thin and are deadly and can drool and slaver and are slimy creatures. Basically something you wouldn't want to come across and something that you won't want on Earth. But these creatures have only ever attacked in space or on their homeworld, but have been on Earth before in the timeline of the Alien vs Predator films. But if you're in space and you're running from these things, just take into mind that in space no one can hear you scream.
And there you go, Horigin Files on the Xenomorphs. Is there anything I might have missed about them? Anything I got incorrect or anything like that? Do let me know down in the comments below, and if you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, share with your friends, and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and to hit that notification bell. All of my social media links are linked down below in the description, so feel free to check all that out. I've been Random Ross, and this has been the Horigin Files on the Xenomorphs. So until next time, don't have nightmares.